So I have to say this quickly, and I have said this before, and I'm going to say it again. What's happening in Gaza is very, very manipulated. There's a lot of deception coming from Gaza. Don't get me wrong, I get it. The media has a lot to do with why you do not understand what's happening, because they are part of the agenda to paint Israel as the bad side. Gaza is basically a sacrifice for radical Islam to advance forward with their caliphate world domination agenda. They're using children in Gaza. They're using their own people to paint Israel as the bad side. Because of Islam and what these people believe, they love death and they are okay with their own people dying. Once you get this, you will understand what's really going on. Once you study and get to understand Islam and what Islam believes, the Muslims, because the whole thing here is because of Islam. The whole root behind this whole conflict and the hatred for Israel and the Jewish people is rooted in Islam. Islam is a very wicked religion. That is why we call those who commit terrorism radical Muslims. Radical Islam is basically those who believe in the Quran and the Islamic writings 100%. They follow it to the T. Those moderate Muslims really don't study their Quran, because if you study Islam and you study what they believe, you will do what they do. Is that making sense? I'm a radical Christian. As a radical Christian, I follow the Bible 100%. At least I try to. That's my goal. You know, I want to love just like Jesus. I want to forgive. I want to. I want to live right. I want to live a sinless life and do what Jesus commanded me to do. And everything that Jesus commanded us to do, we know it's good. But in Islam is the opposite. Islam is rooted in everything that is to do with hatred, murder, death, catastrophe, chaos, jihad, rape, sleeping with young women. And do you know how old Muhammad was when he slept with his wife Aisha? When he married her? Look into it. Study Sharia law, which is what they want to implement into this. Basically, that's what the radical Islam follows. Radical Muslims, they want to follow Sharia law, and they want to bring this Sharia law into every nation, into Europe, into the UK, into America, the rest of the world. Once you study and you understand what they want and what they believe is pure wickedness. I came here to say, if you really want to know what's happening in Gaza and why Israel is really being hated, look at the root cause, which is what they believe is Islam. Islam is the problem. And these people, their hearts are so far gone that they are possessed, demonically possessed. All they have in their heart is death. They just want to kill. And they don't care if they die, because they believe that they're dying for their God, Allah. So, the Christians out there who are not speaking up on behalf of the Jewish community, even on behalf of the Christians, just like those 70 Christians in the Congo who just got beheaded and murdered by these Islamists, and still many are not speaking up. It's so disappointing to me. So When the media keeps showing you children dying, kids dying in Gaza, and showing you that there is a genocide going on and there's a famine going on, do not believe what they say. Yes, people are dying, but there's much more to it than what they show you. This is what they want. I know it's hard to comprehend and really get into your head and understand it because it's pure wickedness and deception. But that's the times that we're living in. These are the times that we live in. We live in times of deception. The Bible speaks about this. In the end times, the deception will... The Lord has shown me that deception is going to increase in ways unimaginable. Don't let the media deceive you. Don't let these Muslims deceive you. Study taqiyya. Taqiyya in Islam. The Muslims are allowed to lie in order for them to advance this evil religion forward. It's part of their religion. Lying is part of their religion. Dying, death is part of their religion. And every wicked thing that you know, that you can think of in your mind, they are wicked. Women in Islam, they really have no freedom. They are like slaves to the men. If you look what's happening in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, and in Iran, and so on, they are like slaves to the men. So, Gaza is basically a sacrifice for this agenda to advance forward, and the people who are living Gaza, the so-called Palestinians, are part of the agenda, and they know exactly what they're doing. From birth to whatever age they die, they are born into it. It's their culture. It's a culture of death. It's a death cult. Now wake up and see what's happening before it's too late, because the deception is going to get wild. Now wait and see how Israel is going to respond to to these people and how they treated the hostages and the Bibas family and everything. Israel is going to respond, and it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be ugly. Now that Trump is back in office, we're going to see Trump backing Israel and Netanyahu, and things are going to look ugly. Biblical prophecies are going to begin to things are going to escalate. Things are going to move so fast. We have the third temple that is already going to start to be rebuilt this year. Now, if you know about the third temple, they can only rebuild the third temple by getting rid of the Alaska Mosque, which is like a big thing for the Muslims. So pay attention, and don't let these people deceive you. Don't let Candace Owens deceive you. Don't let Tucker Carlson deceive you. Don't let anybody who is against Israel and Netanyahu deceive you. Netanyahu is a great leader. He's just got a lot to deal with. He's been put under so much pressure, man. Just like Trump. Last thing I want to say before I go is this. The evil that is rooted in this hatred towards Israel, there's a lot of jealousy that is behind it. These people are jealous of Israel. When you look at the Middle East, the countries in Israel, which is like bang in the middle, this tiny little nation, look how prosperous the nation is. Look how the people of Israel are so prosperous compared to the nations around her. These people are jealous of Israel. I want to say more about this, but hey, Gaza is basically a sacrifice.